What's up guys? I'm Amanda, the Botanical Brunette, and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be doing a plant tour today. I'm going to show you guys all of my plants in my house. I'll kind of show you like how they're styled, where they live, maybe some like plant care tips along the way. You guys will probably notice if you've seen my last plant tours, there has been a big change. The last plant tour I did was spring of 2022. So it's been like 9 months since I've done another tour. So I am way overdue. I'm way overdue to show you guys like all of these plants. Like I'm so excited. A lot has changed. Like I said, I mean, I got a new shelf. I've rearranged my shelf several times. I have kind of been switching out my home decor, so you guys will maybe kind of notice a little bit of a change in that. So I'm really excited to kind of just show you where all my plants live. I know that I've been filming in my office slash bedroom for the last couple of months, so I'm excited to show you guys again like my plant room and just kind of show you the updates that I've made. So enough of me rambling along, let's get started. Let me go show you all of my plants. This is going to be part 1 of a 2-part plant tour because I have a lot of plants. So we're going to start with one of my favorites, who's making a comeback since its chop. This plant is around 4 feet tall. And of course, we have Larry the lemur hanging on strong. Here's where I chopped it. So I snipped the top of this plant due to the fact that the newer leaves were developing what looked like a nutrient deficiency. So I just kind of chopped it, gave it some good food, and it is growing better than ever. Now onto the shelf, and as I do with these plant tours, I'll start with the top shelf. I gave away my big Thanksgiving cactus, but I did keep this cutting for some reason. It is growing pretty well. I'll keep holding on for hope that it will bloom one day. Onto this beauty that I'm desperately rehabbing. I found it had root rot, and I'm trying to regrow it back. I just love those spotty leaves. Oh, and here's my thriving staghorn fern. This is such a great and easy plant. And you can see it's already starting to form shield fronds. This plant has grown so much for me. This plant is so full because I repotted 2 plants together, actually right before filming. It was just time to merge them together and just another part of me minimizing my collection. I've been through a lot with this plant. When I first got it, it had a ton of mealybugs. Really the first plant I ever had that had mealies. Now she's growing back pest-free. And onto my next shelf, we'll start with my favorite Hoya. She's attaching to the poles so well. This I find really helps promote better leaf growth in the runners. These splashy leaves just get me every time, and they're getting so big. This is another plant that I refuse to give up on. This is probably one of my pickier Scindapsuses. I have it in this leaning pot, which once it trails, I think it will look pretty cool. Okay, so I was actually considering getting rid of this plant, but the way it's growing, I couldn't let it go. I'm just a sucker for trailing plants. And the stripy, like weird, ridgy foliage on these are just so cool. And here's one of my treasured Scindapsuses. This one was actually trailing next to the shelf pretty well, but I just snipped it to keep making this plant fuller. You'll see those propagations in part 2. But just look at these leaves. These are my favorite. I just love how splashy, silvery variegated they are. These are getting so long. Oop, I got caught in my anthurium there. I swear these are always getting tangled up in something. It's crazy because you can see how big the leaves are getting as it grows. This Begonia immaculata has to have the best foliage. I mean, those polka dots are just so cute. And these red backs are such a fun surprise as well. Well, surprisingly enough, this Soderoy is still alive. And this leaf just unfurled the other day. Just like the Philodendron brandy, the silver leaves on these are just so pretty, and I try not to give up on them. And onto the showstopper of this shelf. These leaves are getting bigger and bigger. As you can see here, I have a tiny little baby starting to form, so hopefully that will be my biggest leaf. And I just love the velvetiness of these leaves. They're just so soft. Oh, and here's a cute little panda, you know, Amanda Panda. I brought it back from San Francisco when I went a couple months ago. This poor anthurium got spider mites, so I actually had to cut off the newest and biggest leaf. But it seems to be pest-free and growing better so far. You all know that this brandy is my problem child. But why are you just so beautiful? I guess you just have to make up for it somehow. She's starting to give me new leaves, so I'm thinking the pond is working for her. Excuse me, string of hearts. The longest boy. And pretty soon I'm gonna have to move this guy again. I just love these strappy leaves. And we have a new leaf coming in strong, so maybe this is going to be the longest leaf. This Stanleyana doesn't have much variegation, but she's still pretty. I'm actually trying to train this plant to wrap around the pole like my Hoya. I think I'll like this a lot better trailing than climbing. Go figure, right? And another long boy. This is probably the weirdest plant I have in my collection. I've actually never heard of this Rhipsalis, but I thought it looked cool, so I bought it. I love how like deserty looking these are. They almost looks like a trailing cactus. And my diva, she's here in her own terrarium, like her little castle. I swear this is the only way she's happy. This one's not as long as the other one, but is growing pretty well. And these may look really spiky, but they're actually pretty soft. So unfortunately, this may be the last time you'll see this Peru. It had thrips last year, and I chopped it and propagated it and tried to save it, and it just has not bounced back the same since. So this one's probably not going to make it much longer, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to get another one or not. Onto this beautiful fishtail. Such a fast grower and an easygoing plant. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys, after filming my 2022 plant awards, I saw this. It's a new growth, a new stem. I'm gonna move this curtain of Rhipsalis out of the way so you guys can see this cute Gloriosum babies. I'm actually gonna grab them so you guys can see them better. But how cute, right? These were grown from 2 wet sticks that I tried to save when my Gloriosum was dying. Little insurance policy. So I actually don't know the exact genus of this aloe, but I got him back when, in my cacti and succulent days. His name is Bowser. Yes, from Mario. This little Hoya Chelsea has not grown for me at all in months, but she's still so cute. I just moved this pothos a few weeks ago off of my coffee table that only gets a small amount of light. I think it will like it better under the grow lights. And I gotta love those silvery leaves. This umbrella tree found its new home on my shelf. I didn't really have any more room on my desk anymore, and it seems to be happier here. Just look at this little baby leaf. And another silvery plant. Was I like on a silvery foliage kick last year? I placed this plant in water because it wasn't doing well, and it seems to be happier with that, so if they're happy, I'm happy. My white orchid that I refused to cut the stem off of. I didn't have flowers for long on this, but I have a new leaf growing. I actually have this guy growing in a clear solo cup that I cut up. I'll eventually get it a proper orchid container soon. And that's it for my plant shelf, at least the first one. So this Japanese Aurelia is recovering from root mealies that I found a few months back. She's mealy free and growing new leaves. I just love the unique leaf shape. Have you guys ever seen the movie Land Before Time? That was my favorite movie when I was a kid, and I remember that they were looking for the star tree, and that is what this plant is based on. And another plant with really cool foliage. I got this plant almost 3 years ago, and it was so tiny. Constantly gives me growth all year long. So I put mix in the plant name because it's actually a mix of all of my pothos, but it's mostly the Marble Queen. Have this not only trailing, but climbing as well. It's growing all over this frame. I've actually been asked about this a few times. This is actually a letter, or really a document, that my grandmother wrote down basically the first 3 days of my life. My mom and my sister wound up finding it right before my wedding, put it in this frame, and gifted it to me for a wedding gift. Definitely one of my most prized possessions. Down here is where my peditum lives. And here is their newest leaf. Such a fast growing plant. Can't wait until I get the variegated versions. Maybe one day. So I have various air plants living in these wall planters. I think this year I'm actually going to get more air plants. These air plants are doing so well hanging in the window. Oh, and you can't forget this little guy back here. Hi guys, and look at these little cute baby pops. So I moved my cream splash silver stripe to this hanger and I'm loving how it looks. I just hope that it does as well over here as it did on my shelf. So this is actually my record stand. I have a bunch of records and stuff on here. But here's this beauty. I found that my jade was way happier in water, so again, I just left it. And here's my samurai that has not grown an inch. So the other side mimics the side you just saw. The Snow Queen was one of my better 2022 purchases. Look how much she's grown. Here are some plant charms that I sell in my Etsy shop. They look perfect on any pothos. And here's an air plant hanging on another one of my Etsy items. So down here, this is where I keep my air plants that I sell for Etsy, and both of these have sold, so it looks like I'm gonna need more. And these are just some propagations I have going. And on the other side, I have a heartleaf philodendron and one of my favorite non-white planters. So for this plant, I'm trying to make the mother plant really full and lush. You'll see her in the next tour. And here's some micans that I don't know why I have. I'll let them do their thing. And back up at the top, here are more air plants. It's funny how big this Hoya seems, but the root system is so small. Hence why they're in a tiny planter. But you would never know though. She's getting so long too. And even growing better in the winter, which is weird. I love how long these leaves are on this Hoya, and they're just so pretty. Anne is another problem child of mine, although she's been better lately. You wouldn't know it, but I had this plant for over 2 years. Ugh, these gold planters are just amazing. I love them so much. And in this hanging propagation station, I have various cuttings that I actually just snipped. My linearist wants to say hi, but she'll have to wait until part 2. So in my next one, you'll see this other side and really the rest of my house. So that's it. I hope you guys like my plant tour, and I hope you guys all have a great day and stay botanical.